Hey, it's MK, and I am here with the 31 days of cut files for you guys today. And we are still working with week 3, the Steampunk cut files. This is the cut file for today. I absolutely love this circular frame with the little light bulb and all the little gears connected to it. I also, on my little tray, have a couple of these vellum stickers. So they're shiny on the sticker side, and then they're vellum on the other side. So when you lay them on your page, they kind of blend into your page. I also have a few more of these inkwell colored 49 and Market acetate leaves. These were my favorite leaves out of all of the leaves, even the green ones. Like, I loved the green ones. But anyways, I have a couple more tags. I believe those were from the Serenity collection from 49 and Market. And then I have a few chipboard pieces. This yellow gear I've been trying to use for a good 3 years now, you guys. I'm finally going to get it on a layout, whether it matches or not. I have some acrylic pieces as well. The little turnkey is from a 49 and Market collection. I used one, but didn't get around to using the other one. And then the acrylic pieces are from various collections that I've had. And then some metal gears that I'm going to try to add to this layout. So I'm going to put everything back on my tray just to keep it all nice and organized. I also have a chipboard piece that is left over from the brick wall. That was actually the negative of the brick wall, in case you guys are curious and why it's all roughed up. I have a couple photos, and then these are some pipes from a 49 and Market, I believe Factory 42 collection that I had fussy cut out all of the pipes. These are the last of my pipes. And then I've got this Kaiser Craft. Oh, did I say 49 and Market Factory 42? I meant Kaiser Craft. And then that Kaiser Craft geared sticker sheet was also a 49 and Market, but it wasn't Factory 42. I also have a couple scraps, some Cartabella one, 49 and the Garage Plaid from Minte, and then Paper Rose are the wider strips. And I believe this is a P13 base page that I apparently don't show you guys. For my title, I have Iron Horse Beauty on my wax paper here. Those are from two different alphabet sets. One is from Simple Stories typewriter set, and then the other one was supposed to be meant to make molds. I don't really know what it was called, but it's from We Are Memory Keepers, and I got it at a Tuesday, my very first trip at a Tuesday morning that I ever went to. All right, so the first thing I did was went ahead and scuffed up the edges of the two Paper Rose wide strips because everything else was distressed. So I thought, okay. And then right away, I started seeing how I wanted this layout to go together. So I automatically went straight for putting all these scraps down on paper. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't something that I planned on doing. But as soon as I started laying them down, I was like, I really like this. I better put it down on my paper. Now, I've never scrapbooked like this before, you guys, and it was exhilarating. It was fun to just, I guess, as Inky Quill says, stick and plonk. It really was great to see this down on paper and then realize that it looks good. And so I really wanted to keep everything where it goes and decided that, yep, this is how I'm going to do it. I didn't even cut the branding strip off yet, you guys. That is unlike me, but it felt great to step outside that zone and do it this way. Bless me. So I've got my two my two photographs, and at first I thought I was going to take this leftover Elizabeth Craft Designs paper, but I realized there's no way I can cut those papers down that skinny. That was about a 3.5 inch piece. There was no way. I need to leave these at as close to a 4x6 as I possibly can. So I went ahead and I cut my black cardstock into 4x6, and now I'm just trimming 1/8 of an inch off of my paper. I'm not even going to distress the black cardstock. I'm going to leave it as is, so you've got that nice stark background. So this is engine 81. This is the youngest steam engine that lives inside the Living Museum, the Living Railroad Museum, which isn't what it's called. It's just what I've been calling it. Because when you think of a museum, it's actually called a museum. But when you think of a museum, you think of a bunch of stuff behind a plated glass, and you can't touch it, you can't look at it, it'll never move again in its life. And that is not what this museum is. This museum, every single train, car, piece of equipment, everything, down to the little water tower where it fed grain or water into the engine, not engine, but onto the train. Even that works. Everything works inside this museum, except for when you go to the old station, the original station. That is the only part where they actually have it all barricaded off, and you just kind of see a timeline as you walk through the building. Of its existence. Like, it's a timeline of, look, it's being built back in, the 1800s, and you could see sticks in the ground before the building had a shell put on it, and so on and so forth. And I know I've talked about this before because I've already documented those. But this everything else in this museum is functional. And to be honest, the gift shop is where you get the tickets to ride the trains. And you can even sign up to be a conductor and learn how to run and operate the trains, depending on if you want diesel or steam engine. There's 2 different types of conducting. There's lots of things, but now, instead of everything being needed an office space for and a telegraph and all that stuff, a communication device, it doesn't really need any of that anymore. So they made that into the museum and brought everything down into the gift shop to just buy tickets. You want to ride a train? Here you go. Buy a ticket. Or, buy a souvenir. One of the two. But this is it is a 1917 Baldwin locomotive, and it is called a 280 consolidation. And what that means is that her wheel arrangement is 2, 8, and 0. And it means that there's 2 small pilot wheels in the front that help guide the locomotive around turns and curves and things like that. And then there's 8 driving wheels, 4 on each side, that are connected to the drive rods, and there's no training wheels. So there's no other wheel past the 8, 4 on each side, large wheels on the back. So I thought it was pretty cool. It says that it was very popular back in the day when they were being produced, that this railroad museum, before it became a museum, this railroad actually owned 11 of them. And 81 returned home back in 1990. So I wanted to say that 81 was retired. And when it was retired, it was donated to the actual public museum that I've been talking about as well in previous videos back in 1961. And then the museum, knowing that it was still a fully functional engine, they actually donated it to the railroad in 1990. So it returned back home in 1990. And it was stored, sorry, fumbling over my words, but they actually stored it in their paint house. They have an RIP building, which is restoring in progress building, and it stayed there for 20 years before they actually was able to pull it out and restore it and get it to go. And so it took quite a bit. It really did. It came into service in 1939. That's when its first trip on a railroad was, and it only cost the mining company $23,000. You guys, seriously, what can you buy for $23,000 these years? I'm just saying. That just blows my mind looking at the time frames and differences. So jumping ahead into my video, I do apologize. I lost a little bit of footage. Like I said, I've been recovering some of my footage here and there and everywhere. It's not until I go to edit the video when I realize that some portion of it has been corrupted. And so when you saw me put down the vellum stickers, you actually didn't get to see that part. Because I didn't have that part anymore. And then there was a couple other things that I did, and it just kind of skipped over like, oh, it's all there. right? So, yeah, unfortunately, I apologize, you guys. I don't know what happened. Honestly, I don't. But I did end up cutting my cut file in half so I could use it in 2 different spots. I liked how it wrapped around the bottom photo and brought more attention down in that area. And then, of course, the little light bulb with all the florals around it and whatnot. I finally got that yellow gear on a layout. It doesn't match anything, but it's staying there, you guys. I'm done stashing it. I really am. All right. Don't forget to check out the links down below, please. And thank you. Also, too, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. She is my partner in crime when it comes to 31 days of cut files. And yeah, I will check you guys all later. Bye.